Toi tū te kawa, toi tū te rangatiratanga, toi tū te ao tūroa, toi tū te kai kōkiri, toi tū te iwi. Strengthening Ngāi Tahu cultural excellence through sustainability, innovation and tenacity. In 2005, the Ngāi Tahu Fund was set up to provide resources to Ngāi Tahu whānui to strengthen Ngāi Tahu cultural excellence. The fund is a key part of the Ngāi Tahu 2025 strategy to revitalise culture and give rūnanga and whānau greater opportunities. The key priorities identified at the Puketeraki Cultural Summit held in October 2005 are whakapapa, te reo me ona tikanga, mahi toi, whānau development, whenua development and mahinga kai. The fund has 3 strategic goals: to build the cultural knowledge and participation of Ngāi Tahu whānui, to encourage and grow the cultural practices, including mahinga kai for us and our children after us, and lastly, to encourage cultural leadership for today and for the future. Projects such as this Ngāi Tahu project have been set up to promote Ngāi Tahu cultural leadership and revitalise waka traditions and practices.
I think the key thing is it's just a start. Like when you look into these guys like Otu, and they've been doing this for decades. So I think it's just getting a starting point, getting 20 people fired up. If I were to think, well, have we got 20 people fired up about this? I'd say definitely. This isn't I suppose, the achievement of the goal. I mean, this is just kick-starting it all. And before we do anything, we need to grow skills and expertise, and that means more time on the waka and more time doing stuff like this. So probably a lot of work, actually. But I think the key thing is to get people fired up, and to find those people fired up and find ways for them to get more time on the water, build their skills so that they can teach others. And I think getting some small vessels down into Waiponapu, so we can actually start voyaging and sort of day voyaging just around our own home, and just get that noho tangoro, get used to being on the ocean and reading the winds.
Since its beginning, the fund has supported more than 520 cultural projects, from people exploring their whānau whakapapa and history learning toi iho, such as weaving and carving, to sharpening their kapahaka as well as protecting papa tuanuku. Some projects such as this Taonga Puoro wānanga brought in outside experts to help revive this toi iho.
The other reason, like I say, is a very, very ethereal sound, and it just to me is that it brings back to me that the idea of what the time is. I can never quite reach out to what I want all the time. There are so many of these times and so much knowledge that can be gained. I feel this is probably best represented.
Other Ngāi Tahu projects use our own experts to share their knowledge. The Awarua Place Names Hikoi was one of those projects.
The wee tiny hillock there, that's the Whitingamotora that I know of, and that's what they call View Hill here in Manapōuri. So there's a wee stream coming out of there. There's also one of our rūnanga sites there. The Manapōuri rūnanga site for Ngāi Tahu is right below that View Hill there. But Landcorp are presently putting in a big subdivision over there at the moment, or looking at putting a subdivision, so that's how we sort of know a little bit about what's happening up there.
On our left, as we'll come along later, you'll see Te Kawawa Tūroa Takitimu, where the lodge is, which is part of what was originally the Jericho Valley. Runs up to the base of Takitimu.
Te me nui, tūtaraki whānau, it's his work that shapes the whole island with these assistants I've told you of. This is regarded as his greatest work. And it's in that, the mnemonic for it is in that karakia that I called before, which I use and we're starting to use and others are now starting to use on our marae. There's a tauparapara to open our speeches. Nā te ao ko te ao tūroa, tāna ko te amara. Nā te kore, tāna ko te kore te pipi, tāna ko te kore te taumaua, tāna ko te kore te keri, tāna ko māku. Ka moe a maho rānui a te ko te raki. Ka moe a pōha ro te pō, ko hāraki me raka māma tāna rā tāwhiri a māta. Ko tū te raki whānau. Uhere ki te māha nui ki a Māui, ko te atakata, ti hei Moriora. Whānau, whānau, hara mai te toki. Homi e, hui e, kai e. Got it.
Since its inception, the fund has distributed over $5.2 million to Ngāi Tahu communities throughout Aotearoa. And projects such as Ahui Te Rangi have short and long-term goals to nurture expertise in mahiraranga.
The current project that we're really engaged in is at Arahura with Ngāti Wāwai and the decoration of their whare, which includes tukutuku work, kakahu making, whāriki making, which means for the people that are involved in there, and for many of them, first-time learners, the gathering of the resources, the preparation of the resources, and then the weaving up of the resources, and looking at what those resources are in their rohe and how they might best utilise them. Rāranga, from mai rā tells us a lot of stories, gives us a lot of history about ourselves. It talks about how we made things to protect ourselves during adverse weather conditions. It talks about beautiful garments that were made and adorned with chiefly ornaments for those rangatira of those times. And that is something we do not want to lose within our tribe. We have many, many fibres that and decorative adornments that other iwi don't have, and that's special and specific to Ngāi Tahu, and that's really important to us as an iwi, that we hold on to those and learn about them and pass them on to the next generation so that they in turn can teach their mokopuna about them.
We have been very fortunate to be funded from the Ngāi Tahu Fund, and without that support from Ngāi Tahu, we wouldn't have been able to have the outreach and the depth of outreach that we've achieved so far.
I'd encourage all Ngāi Tahu whānau to, if they've got a kaupapa, to apply to the fund, to put their foot forward to enable their kaupapa to happen. And it's a wonderful way to uplift the skill and knowledge of our people. And the fund covers a wide variety of cultural aspects for the tribe. And so my encouragement to the whānau is, if you've got something you want to learn about or want to share with others, me rapu here, give me here, ako here.
There are 2 funding rounds a year for small project applications under $5,000, medium project applications for $5,000 to $30,000, and lastly expressions of interest are called for with large projects that are over $30,000. The fund has been able to support large projects that support rūnanga aspirations and develop the whenua, such as Te Ao Hau, which is led by Wairewa and includes the construction of a lock, an estuary, groin, canal, and the production of a healthy algae for fish food. Ultimately, the success of Te Ao Hau will see whales returning to their old feeding grounds in the area. The Ngāi Tahu Fund has also been active at marae. Awarua Marae has celebrated a healthy, nutritious harvest for the past 2 years, thanks to a Marakai project. And further up the motu, in 2010, Rāpaki opened its first whare whakairo, which was completed with Ngāi Tahu Fund assistance.
The Ngāi Tahu Fund was primarily aimed at the whakairo, or the tipuna carvings, and the rūnanga tukutuku panels. So it's more, and probably rightly so, directed at the cultural component of the hapū. Well, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Ngāi Tahu Fund. Quite clearly, without their support, without the support of the iwi, our job would be so much harder, and the time factor would have been so much greater for us to achieve this goal. The foresight that they have in having this fund available for this type of kaupapa is an indication or an indictment on how well Ngāi Tahu have planned and strategised for their people.
Promoting mahinga kai for our Ngāi Tahu communities is also an important outcome for the fund. Tani Metzger continues to teach this tradition to his whānau and wider community. And as you're about to see, Tani has taken some of the hard work out with a bit of Māori ingenuity. One of the more recent fun projects involves North Otago Mahinga Kai restoration, with the whānanga being held earlier this year in Moiraki. It also involved Waihao and Oro Whenua rūnanga and 3 scientists from Niwa. Whānau learned about certain streams identified for Mahinga Kai and the mahi that is needed to restore them. It was also an opportunity to transfer traditions to the next generation. Te Atakura is an annual event supported by the fund, and it is an opportunity for Ngāi Tahu to grow their cultural proficiency in Māori performing arts in a non-competitive environment. It involves 8 marae from Kaikoura to Oro Whenua, and it has the potential to expand each year. The Ngāi Tahu Fund has become a pathway for whānau to access their cultural birthright. It continues to support whānau and iwi aspirations to hold fast to tradition, to bind together during this period of awakening, and to secure an enduring cultural legacy for future generations. Mō tātou, mō kauri, a muri ake nei.